Have you ever sat in a room full of noise and still felt alone? Have you ever laughed at a joke, but felt your heart stay quiet? On a gray street in Columbus, Ohio, there was a small auto shop with a faded blue door. The bell above it made a soft ding each time someone walked in. Inside, the air smelled like oil and warm metal. Old rock music played from a dusty radio near the window. Ethan worked there. He was 27. Strong hands, quiet eyes. He could tell what was wrong with a car just by listening. When an engine coughed or rattled, he tilted his head slightly, like he was listening to a secret. He was good. Very good. But no one ever said that. His boss only said, "Faster, Ethan." The other mechanics only said, "Same junk, different day." Ethan nodded. He worked. He fixed what was broken. He did not build anything new. Every evening at 5, when the sky turned soft orange and the streetlights blinked awake, Ethan washed his hands in the small sink at the back. The water ran brown for a few seconds. He dried his hands on a thin towel and walked 2 blocks to Murphy's bar. Murphy's was dark and loud. The floor was sticky. The air smelled like fried food and old beer. Jake sat at the end of the counter. Loud voice, big talk. Tom leaned back in his chair. Always tired, always blaming someone. Luis scrolled on his phone, shaking his head at the news. Every night was the same. They talked about bad bosses. They talked about rich people. They talked about how the city was going downhill. They never talked about change. Ethan listened. He nodded. He laughed. But inside, something felt small. Let me ask you something. The people you spend your weekends with, what do they talk about? Ideas? Plans? Or just other people? Be honest. When you leave them, do you feel bigger or just a little smaller? When Ethan was a kid, he used to build tiny cars from scrap metal in his father's garage. The smell of sawdust and gasoline filled the air. His father would stand behind him and smile. "You see what others miss," his dad would say. When Ethan was 19, his father passed away. After that, Ethan stopped building. He only fixed what was already broken. One cold Tuesday morning, a red Mustang rolled into the shop. The engine made a low clicking sound when it turned. A woman stepped out. Gray coat, calm eyes. "It makes a strange noise when I turn left," she said. Ethan drove it around the block. He turned the wheel. He listened. Click, tap, hum. He came back and wiped his hands. "Wheel bearing," he said. "Not bad yet, but it will be." She studied him. "You didn't even lift the car." "You can hear it," he said softly. While he worked, she watched. "You ever think about opening your own place?" she asked. He gave a short laugh. "That takes money." "It also takes courage," she replied. He did not answer. Before she left, she handed him a small card. "I teach night classes at the community college. Business basics. For people who work with their hands." He shook his head. "I'm not really a school person." She smiled gently. "Sometimes it's not about school. It's about doors." That night at Murphy's, Ethan mentioned it. Jake laughed. "Business class? You?" Tom said, "You've got a steady job. Why risk it?" Luis didn't even look up. "College is a waste." Ethan nodded. He told himself they were right. But when he got home, he placed the small card on his kitchen table. His apartment was quiet. The fridge hummed. A single lamp cast soft yellow light on the wall. He stared at the card. "Doors," he whispered. Ethan didn't know it yet. but one small choice that winter would shape the next 10 years of his life. The next Tuesday, he stood outside the community college. Bright lights, clean floors, the smell of soap and paper. He almost turned back. Growth feels strange at first. That's how you know it's real. He walked in. There were only 8 people in the room. A plumber, a baker, a woman who fixed phones, a young barber, and the woman from the shop. Her name was Mrs. Carter. She smiled when she saw him. The first question she asked was simple. What do you want? Not what do you have. Not what do you hate. What do you want? The room fell quiet. Ethan felt something move inside him. A memory, a dream he had buried. After class, the plumber introduced himself. Sam, he said, I'm saving to start my own plumbing service. Ethan nodded. I fix cars. Sam grinned. For now. That week, Ethan still went to Murphy's, but he left earlier. The jokes felt louder. The complaints felt heavier. Jake noticed. You've changed. No, Ethan said. I'm just tired. Saturday morning, Ethan met Sam at a small diner. The coffee was strong. The air smelled like toast and bacon. They talked about rent prices, about tools, about saving $10 at a time. It felt different. It felt alive. At the next class, Mrs. Carter handed out paper. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with, she said. Ethan wrote. Jake, Tom, Luis, his boss, Sam. She looked at the class. After you leave them, do you feel bigger or smaller? Ethan stared at the page. Smaller. Not bad people, just small energy. Let me ask you something. If you wrote down your 5 right now and lived exactly like them for the next 10 years, would you be proud of that life? Or would you feel stuck? Ethan folded the paper slowly. That night, he did not go to Murphy's. Jake texted. Where are you? Ethan typed back. Busy. His chest felt tight, but also light. Months passed. Ethan stayed late at the shop, not to drink, but to learn. He watched videos about small business. He read about saving. He sketched ideas in a small notebook. On one page he wrote, Ethan's garage. He stared at the words for a long time. Some nights were hard. Bills stacked up. Doubt crept in. The easy road whispered, just relax. Just stay where you are. But comfort and growth rarely live in the same room. Sam found a small garage space near the edge of town. The paint was peeling. The floor was dusty. But sunlight poured in through a high window. Ethan stood inside. The place smelled empty. But in his mind, he could hear engines humming. His hands shook when he signed the lease. This was it. Pause. He signed. Opening day was quiet. No balloons, no crowd. Just a single old pickup truck that rolled in at noon. Ethan worked slowly, carefully. He placed a small photo of his father on a shelf near the register. You see what others miss, he whispered. Weeks later, Sam opened his plumbing service. They cheered for each other. Murphy's still stood on its corner. Sticky floors, loud jokes, same stories. One evening, Jake walked into Ethan's new garage. He looked around at the clean tools, the painted walls, the simple sign outside. You really did it, Jake said quietly. Ethan nodded. Jake shifted his weight. I've been thinking, maybe I need something new too. Ethan handed him a rag. It starts small, he said. Just one step. Not everyone followed. Some friends drifted away. Some stayed. But Ethan understood something now. You don't have to hate where you came from. You just can't stay there forever. Late at night, when the shop was closed and the tools were silent, Ethan stood in the doorway. The cool air moved through the trees. Cars passed in the distance. The city still made noise. But inside him, it was quiet. He thought about the bar. He thought about the classroom. He thought about the 5 names on that paper. Funny thing about growth, it doesn't shout, it whispers. It asks you to stand up from one table and sit at another. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to leave the room where nothing grows and walk toward the door that does.